See you sucker soon on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day. Kids got their quizzes and I've got a date. I can't meet the deadline, I'm already late. The cat needs feeding and the car needs oil. What a day, what a day, what a day. Looking for sunshine without any rain. Didn't the good times come with some pain? You gotta get going, start over again, 'cause life's not waiting for you. Birds start their singing, I hear their sweet sound. My heart keeps beating, the world's spinning round. I hear the doorbell, it started again. What a day, what a day, what a day. Looking for sunshine without any rain. Didn't the good times come with some pain? You gotta get going, start over again, 'cause life's not waiting for you. Birds start their singing, I hear their sweet sound. My heart keeps beating, the world's spinning round. I hear the doorbell, it started again. What a day, what a day, what a wonderful day. What a day, what a day, what a day.
Well, we're here for the holiday show, and you know this is going to be shown on December the 25th, which you're watching right now, and also on the 1st of January, because the studio is closed, so we went on location. We are at the YWCA, and on the same show we'll be going over to the Schenectady Historical Society to take a look at the trees over there. Festival of the Trees. Every year we have a great Festival of the Trees at the YWCA and the Schenectady Historical Society. The reason for that is to highlight many of the organizations in our community that do so much for the people in our community. So we're going to take a little tour of the trees that are here. And then after that, we'll do some interviews to find out exactly what does the YWCA do and how you should get involved. So with me, I have the executive director. Hi, Kim.
Hi, nice to see you
Kim
again.
Siciliano is here, and we're going to talk about the trees. Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. So the trees have been going on for over 10 years. The Festival of Trees with the YWCA Northeastern New York, as well as the Schenectady Historical Society, have been doing this wonderful holiday tradition for over 10 years, where we invite community members as well as organizations to set up these beautiful trees here and at the Historical Society, so that people can come in and view them and see exactly what the community does to support the YWCA Northeastern New York.
And this one is from Zonka.
Yeah, and they're celebrating 100 years.
I know,
and
amazing.
Fabulous
Of good work that they do in our community.
Oh my goodness, they're just amazing women. They support the YWCA in many ways, both volunteerism as well as with financial support, and then doing this fabulous tree. And every year they have a different look to their tree, and the blue is their color. They absolutely honor Amelia Earhart, and they are heavily involved in the community and supporting women
my side
and working with my side.
Exactly. I just was going to ask you quickly about the trees. Do they come here and set them up, or and are these for sale, or do they take them back? Tell us what happens.
So each year they sign up with forms to come in and participate in the program, and they come in, bring their tree, bring their decoration. Sometimes we also store the trees for each group, but most of the time they take their tree with them after it's over at about December 15th. And they come in and do this every year, and in many years it's a different theme. They come up with their own themes. We've also had themes for the Festival of Trees as well. This year it was open.
It's all open.
Yeah, so they all came up with their own themes. As you'll see, we have a Mickey Mouse, we have the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Just behind
Yeah,
us,
oh, yeah.
right here, we have the Republican Women's Club of the area.
Yep.
We have, that was a lovely tree as well.
Yes.
So tell us about these trees.
So the Republican Women, this is another group that comes in quite often. They did red, white, and blue, and
donating the
yes, the items on the tree will be donated to the YWCA Early Learning Program as well as our shelter clients so that they can have hats and gloves and mittens and stay warm this holiday season. So the trees are not just gorgeous and beautiful, they are functional.
They're functional.
This is the Office of Children and Family Services, and they brought in this tree every year, and they do an adopt a family, and they this year chose a bear theme, which I mean, it's gorgeous.
Will they donate those bears?
Yes, the bears will come, and then these beautiful ribbons just riveting off the tree just make it a perfect holiday.
Very festive.
Yeah. And this is Christ Child Society of Albany, and they really focus in on the child. Last year, they had put layouts on the tree. This year, you can see every single picture represents a child and a baby.
Has a baby.
Yeah. So
Okay.
really exciting.
Well, we'll take a look at some of the others. Let's walk over to here.
Okay, so
This tree right here we're looking at. It's
Fabulous.
got all the photos here.
These are men who are currently serving our country, and we are always proud to have this tree here as it represents people who are sacrificing their lives to be out there and their
Be away
time.
from their loved ones.
Exactly, to support our country. And then we
And
move on.
this is the one that they've lost their one.
Yes, exactly. And so this is the American Gold Star Mothers, and they dedicate this tree to heroes who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, who have truly given their lives.
This is a beautiful tree.
This is just absolutely gorgeous. These poinsettias make this tree, and this is the Junior League tree, and they, again, huge supporters. Again, we go back to the community and how they support. Junior League does a lot of volunteer work. They've painted our shelter. They've had fundraisers for us. They've brought in feminine needs products.
Very
Just
amazing.
a great group of women who really are out there in the community wanting to give back.
And this one here, we're looking at Tim Burton's my turn.
This is fabulous because this is a homage to Tim Burton, and this is the Scotia Glenville High School Art Club, which is just, these ornaments are all handmade by the art students.
I was just going to ask you because I wondered,
Yeah.
because they all look a little
They're
different.
all different, and they are all handmade. I mean, I don't know if you can see this, but look at this.
Oh, yeah,
Edward
Johnny
Scissorhands,
Depp.
yeah.
Johnny Depp.
I mean, it just brings the tree alive, especially the paper mache Nightmare Before Christmas on top. So another fabulous group that supports the community and the
And
YWCA.
then we have Nature Adventure. Boy,
This is a classroom. This is a group out of, I'm gonna let Carrie talk about this, okay, we can go back to it. Carrie or Lauren. This is a classroom, a local classroom here in Schenectady that comes in every year, and this was their theme, survival and nature and wilderness. And you can see every single ornament on the tree. It's like the fire, all talk about how you go out into the woods and how do you survive. There's a first aid kit. So some really great ideas coming out of this.
I love the binoculars too, very clever. Caregivers, senior caregivers,
Yes.
charities.
I mean, we work with Catholic Charities with some of the same clients, so it's amazing that the opportunity to have them here representing one of the trees is a great chance for us to be together even more so than we have ever been. These ornaments, again, all handmade, all thought about, all really, the creativity that goes into making these trees is beyond any, I think they begin in like October to think about what are we doing for the YW tree.
Yeah, we really need to look at some of these ornaments. I think they're lovely.
They're all fabulously handmade and happy, just safe schools, all kinds of stuff, food for everyone, love. These are some of the seniors that the Catholic Charities works with that actually put down their own wishes for
Their
the
own
season.
wishes. This is a beautiful tree.
This is one of our in-house trees, and it's fabulous because we also get to decorate some trees during the year, and so our front desk, our reception area, they really take it upon themselves to make sure that our trees, we have about 5 or 6 of them, just all have a beautiful theme about them. Obviously, this is the gold theme.
Yeah.
So we've done that
I
ourselves.
love this. This is another organization that does so much for our community.
in fact, they're going to be having a fabulous dinner for our residents on December 18th. They come and they provide all the food, all the gifts. I do a lot of the singing with the residents. We do the 12 Days of Christmas, but Sir Optimus comes in and provides all of this great holiday festivities on December 18th, and our housing residents, over 50 of them, get to enjoy the season with the Sir Optimus.
Talk about a stunning tree.
Yeah.
This is stunning.
This is our purple tree. Our residents here put this tree up. Every year we try to have a purple tree. Purple reflects the color for domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
Yeah, so we want to make sure we always, pay homage to that and those people who are survivors and that are here with us, and that the YW supports all year through.
You do so much for the community. This is an amazing tree because it's got food all over it. So
Yes.
what is that?
Functional and fabulous is what we call it, because Concern for the Hungry does this every year, where they bring in items that we can then put into our food pantry. And so the ornaments are actually food. And then when they take them down, we put them in our food pantry, non-perishable, and our residents, as well as the clients coming in who may need a quick meal, we can feed them that way. So Concern for the Hungry, again, another.
And of course, you're doing this in a great job with Thanksgiving meals as well.
Absolutely.
And this is a beautiful tree.
So this is our children here that made these ornaments from 0 to 5 years of age. So infants all the way up to children going into kindergarten shared in making this tree, from every single ornament to the rings that you see on the tree, as well as the topper. So this is our early learning program here at the YW. So this is our Kiwanis tree. Schenectady Kiwanis does a tree for us, and many times during this entire holiday season, where we've had the opportunity to have Kiwanis come in. This year they chose a theme of books and pen dispensers.
I love that. I love it.
So we've got wonderful books that are going to be donated back to the Early Learning Center, as well as the pen dispensers will be handed out to the children in our early learning
And
program.
the books just seem to cover a wide array.
We've got baseball, you've got Marco Polo, we've got farm, we've got the Night Before Christmas, Amelia Bedelia, as well as age. You've got some here that are for, young babies. We've even got folks that cannot be destroyed. These are indestructibles. So babies can.
As long as the dog doesn't get it.
Exactly right. And then this tree is from Northern Rivers.
Northern Rivers, and they do a lot.
Oh my goodness, they're engaged in the community.
I love their tower on
Yeah,
it too.
I don't know how they got that to stay up there, but that snowman's face is fabulous. Again, it looks like their children's center made some of these. And again, ornaments that are just fabulously done. I mean, really thoughtful, many of them handmade, that you just can't get anywhere, so you just don't see this anymore.
And I think we did something. Okay, fine. Ken, we're talking with Kim Siciliano, of course, and we've already done the tour of the trees. But I'd like to know a little bit more about some of your programs. I know you have the domestic violence, it's a residence here. How do people, is this like they can come in and say, do you have a space for me? And are there places to rent? How does that work?
Okay, so our three main focus areas are domestic violence, early learning, and our housing program. Here at our main location, we have 55 women who live with us, and they
have apartments?
We have single room occupancy here, kind of like a college dorm room at this location, and then in the community we have 24 apartments.
I knew that. Yeah.
And they're one-bedroom apartments.
And many of those are kind of hidden, so you don't know where they are, because it has to do with domestic violence.
Exactly. So here they call or walk in and make an appointment to meet with our housing coordinator. And then our housing coordinator does an interview or an appointment where they sit down and talk about that this is communal living and what they are looking to get out of the YW services. And then we kind of do some goal setting with them, and we work.
So you work with them?
Yeah, absolutely. And they do pay rent to be here. We do 24-hour security at our front door, where we have the opportunity to make sure that, one, we have a person at the front desk all the time, and then we do have a security, so that they feel safe here. Yeah, and this is their home. Many women that have lived here for 10 plus years. We have some who are 20 plus years. The average stay here is 2 years. And so some people do use it as transitional housing, but many do feel this is their home.
This is their home.
So it's important that we make it safe, we make it comfortable, we make it inviting. So that's one of the things we do in our housing program. Our domestic violence services really do span out into the community because we have offices at the police department, we have offices at family court and at child protective services.
You did something in Schenectady.
So one of our early learning programs is located at Schenectady County Community College, or SUNY SCCC as it is called now. And we partner with them and that's a 20-year relationship that we've had with SUNY Schenectady, where we're really offering high-quality early learning education that is accredited through the Association for the Education of Young Children, which is a national accreditation, basically good housekeeping seal of approval. And we just got voted our early learning centers best of the best for the Gazette People's Choice Awards for 2018. So
you must be doing something.
We must be doing something right because that's the people voting on who has the best early learning, and that's the YW. So our program areas really do span from 0 to 99 and beyond to offer the community what it needs, and those needs have changed over the years. We used to be heavily reliant on fitness and
swimming and
clubs and swimming, and now we really focus on housing, early learning, and domestic violence.
Which is a good focus.
Absolutely.
Okay, and I want to thank you so much for giving us an overview of some of your programs, and we'll be visiting with another guest who will be visiting with next.
Most welcome.
Okay, good. And with me now I have Tammy, who is involved with the housing here. Tell us a little bit about that. And your full name is?
Tammy Connell-Flanders.
Flanders. Okay,
Yep.
good. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. We have 3 different primary housing programs that I oversee. One is in this building where we are right now. The 2nd and 3rd floor are SROs, which are
Single room only. Yeah.
single resident occupancy. It's a furnished room.
It is a standing room only.
No, it's not. It's not. So it's a furnished room with a bed, a mini refrigerator, set of drawers, a closet. It's like a college dorm, so there's a shared kitchen, living room, bathroom. We have the living room down here for everybody who lives here.
Okay.
And it's.
But they have their private space.
Yeah, the bedrooms are private. They lock. It's
Okay.
you've got your own living space, and then you've got shared space. So it's a little communal and a little private. It's,
Good.
It works. And then we have a house called Mary Hill House, which is similar, but we try to keep that more for women who are working or going to school.
Okay.
So it's SRO units, but it's smaller. There's 41 units here. There's 13 units in that house.
You have a lot that you handle.
Yes.
A lot of.
Yep. It's a lot.
Wow.
So that is a smaller, separate house. Same things: private bedroom, shared kitchen, living room, bathroom. And then we have a program called Rosa's House, which is a subsidized apartment program. So we have 24 apartments in the city that are rent subsidized at 30% of income, and there's certain criteria for the women who qualify for that program.
Wow, I had no idea that you had so many different levels.
Mhm.
Is what I was thinking. I think of always this is it, but no, it isn't.
No, we're bigger than that, and it's all permanent housing, so the women are welcome to stay for as long as they want or need. So our average stay is about 2 years, but we have women who have lived here for 20 years plus.
Yeah. Well, they found a home.
Yep.
And maybe, their circumstances are such that they're probably not going to get a job that pays a lot, that they can go somewhere.
Maybe, and it's, some more elderly women,
Yeah.
and this just feels safe, and, there's staff around if they're sick or they need help, or,
Perfect.
there's no
Perfect.
men. And
That's perfect. It's a perfect place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And can they bring their computers here and work on their computers and stuff like that? So,
Yeah,
they
there's
can have their own
Wi-Fi.
private stuff.
Absolutely, yep, there's
Yeah.
Wi-Fi through the buildings.
Good. And you have domestic violence shelters
Yes.
as well.
We have one domestic violence shelter.
One, and that is kind of not highlighted because it's a space that's supposed to be safe.
Yes, we would not disclose the location
Right.
of that. I think you're going to be talking to Tamika, our shelter coordinator, in a little bit.
Okay.
She'll talk to you about their programming.
Okay, good. Okay, well, thank you so much for giving us an overview, Tammy.
Sure.
We really appreciate that. I'm sitting here now with Tamika Santana, and she was with the YWCA, of course, but she's with the shelter. So let's talk a little bit about what you do, because it's amazing what I found out, what kind of a residence centers you have in the area, and now you have something else. So tell us about that.
So I run a DV shelter for 20 women.
Domestic violence, DV.
For the domestic violence shelter here in Schenectady for about 20 women or men if they are in need of shelter from their domestic violence situations. So,
And this is an undisclosed location?
Yes. It's an undisclosed location here in Schenectady. So we basically try to help the families get resources to get back on their feet, at the same time providing a safe place to be.
Right.
So we do try to help them find housing. We refer them with
Transition to get out of the situation they're in.
to definitely get out of the situation. We help with family court situations if they have to get order of protections or if they want to go for full custody of their children. We assist with that.
So you must have to have a good background in all of this to negotiate your way through the system.
You do, but as a team, our why is we have our own hub, which is so wonderful because within different departments we can all work together as a team to try to get families to where they need to be as one good team. So it's a lot of email, a lot of phone calls with correspondence, and
It's always good to have a good team,
it
isn't
really is
it? Yeah.
because it just blends so well, so we can do the best that we can to get families back to their full functioning, at least partially where they would like to be. As much as possible.
Exactly, and of course you want to make sure that they're safe and they go to wherever they go, that they continue to be in a safe
Right,
space.
if they choose to leave the state, then we try to get them out of state if that's possible. If they have families within local surrounding counties, we try to work with different counties to get them where they need to be as well.
One thing I had learned about your domestic violence program is that if many times people women, I say people because it could be a man as well, don't want to leave because they have an animal and they don't want the animal to be injured because of the violence in the home. And you are willing to work with that system there.
So we definitely try to work with the Animal Protective Foundation, who can also somewhat assist for at least 2 weeks to help with, the initial placement of shelter for them. So at least for the first 2 weeks that they will be able to leave the situation and then make alternate arrangements. with
Okay,
their
because they may
animals.
have a relative or something, but not that
Right.
immediate. You can't.
Because also for the animals, with the shelters for animals, they are encaged. So they also become depressed.
Yeah.
And they need something more and more stimulating,
There's so much to think about.
It's a lot,
Yeah.
but you have to have the heart to want to actually help the next person.
Yeah.
Because it's really not for everybody.
No, but thank you so much for what you do. It's really important that we have people such as you and the other staff here at the YWCA that is willing to step up and make sure that the transition and that women always feel safe and can move on. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Okay. Lauren, tell us a little bit. You've been on my show before,
Yeah, I
I know.
have.
But we're here at the YWCA. If you're just tuning in, we're at the YWCA sitting in front of the fireplace. It's not warm at all.
I know, I wish it was.
I'm ready to throw a match in there. But anyway, tell us about what you do here,
Sure.
because I know that you're involved with the younger set, so to speak.
So I actually oversee, my title is the Director of Women and Family Services.
Okay.
So I oversee all of our domestic violence programming as well as our program for homeless women in
Okay.
Schenectady County. And this is a great time of year for us, especially with the trees in our building. We have lots of organizations that come in and do holiday parties for the women here and the families
Nice. I
here.
heard about this. I think it's Seroptimus doing that.
Seroptimus
Yeah.
doing the resident party, and then we have the folks from Glenn Sanders at Mazzone Hospitality
Oh,
coming
yeah.
to do a party for the shelter families here next week. And it's a stressful time for a lot of our clients, all the people that we serve. We like to be sensitive to that and understanding, and just this
It's
really
got to be
helps.
tough because the holidays are not for everyone.
Right.
Because it may bring back memories that
It's not always
of a
good
loss.
memories. Exactly.
Now, when you mention the homeless, I'm trying to process this. If you're homeless, do they just come here and say, I don't have a place?
Yeah, we
do you
have a
put
lot
them
of-
up, or do
so-
you say, here's how you can get a meal, or what? Tell us how that works.
Sure. So we are meant to be kind of a one-stop shop for women that are in need or in crisis. So our housing program is not an emergency shelter, so
That's
we do
what
have
I
a little
thought,
bit of
yeah.
a wait list. The only emergency housing that we have is for our domestic violence families. So that's why we screen people when they come in and try to figure out if there's something that we can do. If not, we refer to other agencies for that.
Because there are other
placement.
agencies that may be able to help.
So we run at about 6 to 8 week wait list for the rooms that are right here in this building. And then once women live here, get in here, they can stay as long as they need to. We've had a few women that have been here over 18 years.
I heard that, yeah.
Yeah, so, and they become our family. They tell us what to do, really. Once they've been
You
here
probably
a
go
while.
to them and say, how do we handle this?
Exactly. Yeah, they've been here, they're familiar faces,
Right,
and
right.
we're, to them the same. It's
Yeah.
nice, yeah.
So you really you run the whole gamut of trying to help women from the homeless, which I did not realize you were doing homeless as well, and taking care of that. So you have a pretty big job as well.
Yeah, and it's really gratifying to be in an agency where, anybody can come off the street, and whether it's a cup of coffee, a cup of soup, a winter coat, some shampoo, there's that immediate need that you can help with somebody that walks in our front door. And I think that's what we're known for in Schenectady County and our staff. You come in and ask for something, we will do our best to get you help.
Well, I guess right now I should just ask if people would like to make donations of items like coats.
Yeah.
You mentioned coats.
Yeah.
For anyone from, say, age 6 on up,
Correct.
because you've got other, or maybe
Absolutely.
lower than that. Can they drop those things off in good condition? I'm not talking about,
Sure.
just junk, but if they have good condition.
Yeah, the community is very good to us. We get a lot of donations. Right now, for the remainder of the year, we're only taking new items, so they can be part of our holiday giving program.
Right.
But once we get back into 2019, we certainly welcome seasonal clothing, coats, hats, boots, things like that are always really helpful. We're short on those all the time because women need them all the time.
Exactly.
But all throughout the year, canned items, things that we can stock our food pantry with, hygiene items, those things we can never have enough of.
No, I know that's true, and hygiene is something that we, I know that League of Women Voter, or not the League,
The
Junior League has done
Junior
so
League.
much to that, to try and make sure, because that's kind of something that goes off the radar.
Definitely. We have their program distributing Discreet Dignity.
Yeah, just
so we have a whole closet here full of feminine hygiene products where anybody can come in if they need them, and we'll.
Yeah, I know they have, every once in a while they'll have a collection and stuff. I usually try and bring a bag of something in there for them, so. Well, thank you so much for telling us a little bit more about what your program is, and also, I want to wish you a happy holiday.
You too. Thanks, Ann.
Okay, and now is our next interview. This has been so much fun. I've got to meet most of the staff here, but I have Nancy Johnson with us right now, and she's involved with the Learning Center.
Yep.
So tell us about that.
So our early learning centers, we have two. We have one here at the YW, right downstairs, and we have one at the college at SCCC.
Now, is this like a drop-off in the morning and pick up at night?
No. This is, we open at 7 and we close at 5:30.
Okay.
Parents choose a shift. It usually is whatever the hours they're working.
Okay.
So they come in and it's a full educational program. We also
So it's not just a babysitting?
we do not babysit.
No, you teach
We do
them.
not babysit. No.
I mean, it's
And-
important for people to understand
Yeah,
what you
no.
do.
We actually teach the children, we teach through play, everything is developmentally appropriate for their age. We also have an early Head Start program, so the children, some of our children in the program receive those services as well, such as home visits, dental services, vision services, special ed needs, anything like that.
So how many children or young people do you, I don't want to say handle, that's not a bad word to use.
Any day, yeah. We start at 6 weeks and we go to the age of 5, and we can take 42 here at this building and about 28 at our SCC
Oh my
site.
gosh, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
So we're talking every day. What happens
Every day.
in the summer? Same
We
thing?
keep going. We run every day.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So is this also a situation where someone needs to do that for 3 weeks, but not permanently? Or
Generally not. Most of our parents.
You're trying to keep it stable.
Most of our parents start their children with us around 2 months, 8 weeks.
And they
9
want to
weeks,
stay there.
and they leave when they go to kindergarten.
Yeah.
So we have them the entire time. They're actually family.
Well, not only that, but if they're all kind of doing that, they become friends among themselves. So
Yeah.
it's not just transitional.
No.
It's
No, they all go
Stability.
they move together.
There's
Yeah.
stability in it.
Yeah. So when they go to school, they'll know somebody.
And how many teachers do you have?
I I have 24 currently.
Wow.
24.
Yeah, that's amazing. I knew about it, but I guess I didn't realize the extent of what
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah, it's a fun program.
Yeah.
They work really hard on our accreditation through the National Association for Education of Young Children. So both of our
You're
centers have
accredited.
it. Yeah, and there's only 2 in the city limits, and we have those 2,
Okay.
which is really kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
And
And you did a tree. The kids
We did. It's really pretty, right?
Yeah, I love the tree.
They did a take on Mickey's 90th birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
yeah.
they like Mickey Mouse.
Well, who doesn't like Mickey
Exactly.
Mouse? I mean, it's something that Walt Disney started, and we just keep on going
Yeah,
with it.
and I can't take credit for it. My assistant director, Rebecca Fitch, she, with a bunch of teachers, came up with a theme, and
And the kids loved it, right?
The kids had a ball. They had a ball, and they come up and they look at it and they look for their ornament.
They want their ornament.
Yeah.
Will they be able to keep their ornament?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yes.
When this is all done and said,
They can put it on their
we'll
tree.
take it down and
Yeah.
we'll give it to the kids.
Yeah. You
So
like
they
working
come-
here?
I've been here for over 20 years.
I know. I see your eyes light up and your face lights up.
I love early childhood first.
I know you do.
But the YW, the mission is perfect.
Good fit.
Yeah, this is awesome. It's a great place to work.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I want to wish you happy holidays.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you for sitting on the hot seat.
Yes.
We've been here at the YWCA interviewing many of these staff here and seeing the trees, and I'm so happy that they are in our community and doing such great work for the women, but also with the domestic violence center, or a house they will take men if they're involved in a domestic violence situation. But basically their focus is women and children, and they're doing an amazing job. Please support them. Well, here we are. We're at the Schenectady Historical Society. What a wonderful place this room is, and you will be seeing some of the trees that are here. But right now we're interviewing Mary Zawecki, and she's been on the show before. But we've got her in her home turf, so to speak. So please tell us a little bit about if someone came to this museum, what would they see, rather than trees right now, but what would they see?
That's a great question, and Anne, I'm so glad
Yeah.
to have you here today.
Yeah, it's so exciting to be here.
We do a variety of things here. We have exhibitions throughout the entire museum. In January, we'll be opening a new exhibit that focuses on childhood in Schenectady.
Childhood in
Yeah.
Schenectady.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of ethnic, because as they grew up,
It's going to be very dynamic because it really focuses on the 20th and 21st century.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of the childhoods of people who are still alive and living in
Oh,
Schenectady
okay, so
today.
this is different than what I was thinking. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
well, no, but we have a lot
Yeah.
of ethnic communities in
Yeah.
Schenectady
Yeah.
today, too. So, our museum kind of tries to tell the whole story of Schenectady with exhibitions from the colonial period through that period of immigration and technology right up to the present
And
day.
how it's changed.
Yes,
Oh my
exactly,
goodness, and now it's
exactly.
changing again.
It's always changing.
Yeah.
And we look, yeah.
Now tell us about where we're located. We're in, how old is this, the building that we're in right now?
The house we're in, Jackson House, dates to 1895.
Okay.
But it wasn't really a residence for very long. It was the GE Women's Club and then the
Really?
Historical
Okay.
Society. Yep. So it's been kind of a public building for 50, 75 years.
So it's not the oldest building in the stockade?
This is not, no, although we do own another property right here in the Stockade, the Brower House,
Okay.
which is the oldest.
Okay.
And we do a number of programs over there as well.
Well, I noticed, because I do get the flyers, and you have many events here, and I love the genealogy that you do, the number of programs associated with that, and history, and you have lecturers come in. One of the things, though, that it's not just here, because you do things over at the Mabee
We
Farm as
do,
well.
yep, we are throughout the county. So we have a ton going on at the Mabee Farm, mostly in the summer and the warmer
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
But even
A little
beyond
bit cool
that,
now when you get out there.
it's a lot of snow to trudge through
Yeah.
to get into that house. But we also try to just do stuff throughout the county, not tied to any of our locations. A walking tour here.
You do the
pop-up-
canal, did you work with the canal?
We
Some
do.
of the walking tour?
Yep, we do. We've done walking tours of the GE Realty
Yeah.
plot, of Little Italy,
Yeah.
and we do pop-up exhibits throughout the county as well. So we kind of try to just be in as many places as we can be.
And so if someone was interested in checking it out, now right now you have all these trees here, which we've seen, but the thing I was wondering is, this is a big space. How do you
Yes.
fill it up?
This space is actually usually empty because we have a wonderful map exhibit. It's the best maps of Schenectady from the very beginning up until the 20th century.
So this is the map room?
Yeah, this is the map room, and then we
And I see them on the wall.
Yeah, no, they're incredible. But this space can double for our lectures, for our kids programs, so it's
Okay.
kind of a multi-use space. Yeah.
Okay, and do you rent out any of this if
We
somebody
do.
wants to have an event
You know,
here?
it's funny you say, I just heard from one of our board members, I never knew this, he got married here in 2004. Can you believe that? He
Well,
never
I
told
can,
me.
and what a great place to get married
It's
at.
beautiful,
No kidding.
yeah.
And I have to ask you, there's one tree which you've probably already seen, it's hanging upside down.
Yes.
Who sponsored that one?
That is actually, the curator of the whole Festival of Trees is our curator,
Okay.
Susanna, and she's very creative, very talented.
So
and
she decided to do something just
She
a
just-
little bit different.
You know what, I was talking to her and she said, I want to do something different and more creative every year we do this. And I said, absolutely, let's go for it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really kind of cool. You have so many. Now, when I was here the one time, you had a lot of crockery. Do you still have the crockery?
We have a lot of crocks, we have a lot of ceramics, yeah, all kinds of material culture from Schenectady's history.
So, and if someone walks into this museum, of course they can turn to the right and go into your archives, your
Yes.
library. So let's address the library. The library is of genealogy and history of buildings here.
It's everything Schenectady history.
Okay.
So you can do genealogical research. You can also do just general local history research. My favorite is the city directories, which go way back.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, to the 1800s, and just to see the kinds of jobs people had, which don't even exist anymore. You know, the number of blacksmiths and cobblers.
I just had a blacksmith on my show last
Oh
week.
gosh,
so-
yeah. No, it's fantastic. It's a great resource. I find myself using it not just for work, but just kind of for fun sometimes to poke around.
Well, and it's interesting because, I mean, I had grandparents that lived here, and so I could look and see if I could find them in there. And see, I don't know if any of you know what a city directory is, but years ago, and even when I was small, I mean, they were still putting them out. They would go door to door and talk to each person, find out what the person did. And so they actually went to visit each home, and then they put out this directory every year that listed who lives at what address. You could cross-reference it by name.
Yep.
Can you even imagine that?
I know.
And then what they did and how many, if there were kids in the family, I mean, well, how intrusive is that?
I know, but I mean, for us historians today, it's an awesome resource.
Yeah.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love looking at them.
Well, history is just so exciting when
Yeah.
you start digging into it. And it seems as though everyone unravels another thread that you have to follow.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think there's endless mysteries, and that's
Yeah.
part of the fun of the job,
Yeah.
is kind of solving those.
Exactly. So when is the museum open so that people know when they can come and visit? And
We're open all week, Monday through Friday, 9
Okay.
to 5, and on Saturdays, 10 to 2.
okay, and I noticed you have stairs going up. Is there an exhibit upstairs as
There
well?
are exhibitions upstairs, yes, although it is not wheelchair accessible.
Okay.
But we do have exhibitions.
And what would those exhibitions focus on?
We've got one on the changes of downtown Schenectady over time.
Oh, my.
Yeah, immigration is up there, and actually we have the United States' second oldest dollhouse on display as well.
I heard about
Yeah,
that.
so
Yeah.
that's fun.
And you know Sylvie Breiber.
Of course, yeah.
And I have her book on the stockade, which is a delightful book.
Yeah.
That she has really kind of looked into the history of some of these buildings and houses. So,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of information, and of course the stockade again is, I think it's the oldest continual living historical area in the United States. Almost.
It's New York's first designated historic district. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the very first neighborhood in New York where the folks said, "This is it. We're making this a designated."
But they are living here. I mean, it's continually living.
Oh,
Yeah, that was because
absolutely.
a lot of them are historical, but no one lives there
Yeah.
anymore. So this
Yeah.
it has to do with continually living. If you haven't been to the stockade, park your car, take a walk.
Take a
I mean,
walk.
you got to walk through the stockade.
Absolutely, it is best seen on foot.
And when you do
100%.
that, you'll see little plaques on the houses. Now, but not just anybody can stick a plaque on the house. It has to be curated.
It's funny you say that. Yes, we issue the plaques, or the permission to put up the plaques with our seal. Although, a lot of those plaques were put up, let's say, 30, 40 years ago when
And
we
they didn't know about it.
Well, they didn't exactly. So some of them are not completely accurate, but it's safe to say that most of the houses you
Are
see
pretty
plaques
close
on,
to accurate.
they're pretty pretty old.
Yeah, so anyways, and we'll have the accuracy police go out and check that now.
I don't think so.
Just check. We've been talking with Mary Zawecki, and we're at the Schenectady Historical Society. Please come down and visit them and find out a little bit more about the history of Schenectady. If you're a newbie to the area, you must come down and check it out and take a look at some of these maps. I mean, remember, this is amazing when they talk about the Indian War that came up in the stockade. And,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a whole history. It's not just called the stockade because it was a stockade.
It was surrounded by wooden walls.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
it was a dangerous time to
Yeah.
be living. This was the frontier.
Yeah, and was it a Skimmerhorn rode his
Yeah.
horse from here to Albany
Yep.
to warn him about the invaders?
The invaders from Canada.
From
yes.
Canada.
Yep.
So, well, sometimes things change.
Yeah,
Good.
sometimes.
Mary Zawecki, she's the executive director. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
And this is being shown on the 25th and on the 1st of January, since the studio is closed. So we're just going to give you a big shout out so everybody
Great.
knows about it.
Thank you so
and
much.
happy holidays.
Thank you.
Okay, here we are. We're sitting here with one of the staff. Her name is Susie Fout, and she's a curator here at the museum, and we're in the Schenectady Historical Society. This is an amazing place. You just heard from Mary Zawecki about what they've been doing here, but tell me what a curator does.
So essentially,
Besides curating.
I am in charge of the collections at the museum, both here and at Maybe Farm, and then also in charge of developing exhibits for the society.
Okay,
as
so
well.
you do the
Yes.
exhibit. Now, is everything stored on the premises, or do you have it in a place that you have to store?
So we actually store a lot of our collection items over at Maybe Farm in
Okay.
Barbergan Junction, but we do have some storage collection here as well.
Okay, and what would you find? I know that I was here once with people from England, and they were fascinated by crockery that you had here. You had some crockery around.
We do,
He was
yes.
so excited when he saw, because he was a collector, and he was so
Yes.
excited to see it. Yeah. Of course, I mean, ours couldn't be as old as England, but I thought it was quite good.
We do have some pretty impressively old objects in our collection, actually, since the history of Schenectady dates back really far.
Yeah, and I noticed in the other room you have like a gun on the wall and things like that. How do you collect all those things?
So we collect in different ways. Most of the objects are donated to the collection. The Historical Society has been in existence since the early 1900s,
Right,
so
right.
our collection dates back pretty far, and a lot of our pieces were donated early on. But we still are actively collecting. And
So if somebody's cleaning out an attic and they find something
Correct.
that looks old,
Yes.
should they give you a call and say,
Yes,
would you
definitely,
like this?
definitely, yes. We are always looking for new objects. We're actually redoing our collections policy so that it's more expansive and is a little bit more diverse, and so that we can really capture the essence of what Schenectady is. But essentially, yeah, if you have something that you think might be of interest, anything that's related to Schenectady history, to the region, Mohawk Valley, Capital District, we're definitely interested in.
Yeah,
looking
and
at.
then because it's important that these items don't get lost.
Correct.
Because so many times, a young person will go into their great-great-grandfather's home and they finally have to clean it out.
Yes.
And they go, oh, just get a dumpster and get rid of it all. Please don't do that.
No, definitely not. We definitely want to see what it is, and see, if it's in good condition, then we definitely want probably to do
What
it.
about paper? I mean, we're looking at books. What about books and deeds to places?
Those are all really great items as well, and those actually would be going to our library. So our librarian, Mike Maloney, would handle that donation. Any archival material, books, documents, photographs, those are all items that we collect, and those are actually very important to sort of documenting the historic nature of Schenectady.
And it's really, because I'm on Facebook, and of course, every once in a while,
Yes.
somebody will post one of the
Yeah.
old photos, and,
Those are
and
great.
everybody's looking at it, saying, oh, I
Yeah.
don't remember that being there. What was that, as a
Yeah.
kid? So history is, we live in a community, and I mentioned before, if you're a newbie to the area, you should really learn a little something about the community that you're in, and find the history
Yes.
of that. And the stockade, you are in such a rich area to begin with.
No, we're lucky. We're
Yeah.
definitely lucky to be in this area.
Exactly. Now, do you do fabrics and clothing?
We do. We actually have a diverse collection. We collect everything from clothing to paintings, to furniture, toys, essentially any material object that sort of documents the history.
And
of
then
Schenectady.
that's where you come in.
Yes, that's right.
You go in and you look, well, what can I put together for an exhibit?
Exactly.
Maybe we'll do one on food and cooking in early Schenectady, or
Yes.
maybe we'll do one on
animals and farming in
Yes.
Schenectady. So what you're doing is looking at all of the items that you have, and you try and
Yep, I try to interpret them for the audience. And
how exciting
yes.
that is.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
Getting
I have a lot of
help
fun.
from anybody
Yeah.
else? Or?
Yes, well, I mean, I have a very good support system
Yeah.
here. All of our staff and our volunteers are very knowledgeable, and so they're definitely always helping me.
And how long have you been working at this?
So I actually started fairly recently. This
Yeah.
is my second year, so I've been here for about a little over a year.
So you're still learning.
I'm still learning a lot, yes, for
Are you
sure.
from Schenectady?
I'm not originally, actually.
See, you're learning. You're
I
learning.
know.
Yeah, I know.
I'm originally from the Plattsburgh area.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, you're
But New York State. So
Close
yeah.
enough. So it's important that we do have people like Susie, who is Susie, right? Susie is a curator, and curators, of course, put together these exhibits that you see when you go into a museum. Do you also work over at the Educational Center over at the Mabee Farm?
Yes, so the Mabee Farm is run by the Historical Society, and we do have exhibits over there.
You have paintings, I know, a lot of
Yeah,
them
so
are
we do.
artwork.
The Mabee family actually left quite an extensive collection along with the farm.
Okay.
So we have that collection stored there, and we also do have some exhibit space along with the historic house, which we have just
Yeah.
recently redone, which looks beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
And then.
And I love the Education Center.
Yeah, the Education Center has a very large gallery, and we're actually putting in a new exhibit in January. We will be accepting a traveling exhibit that was curated by the New York State Parks and Recreation.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, it's an exhibit on slavery in New Netherlands. It's going to be called a
I
Dishonorable.
like it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
We're very
really.
excited. Yeah, it's going to be called a Dishonorable Trade, and it's actually in the Cralo State Historic Site right now.
Oh, okay,
And
so it's over there.
It's going to be installed at the Mabee Farm in January.
Well, the Dutch were quite
They were actually the ones that began the slave
slave trade.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, it's part of history.
It is.
We
and-
need to
yeah.
know a
Yeah,
little bit more
for
about
sure,
that.
yeah.
I'm sure that they aren't real happy about it now, but it is what it
No,
was.
yes, exactly.
I want to wish you a very happy
Well, thank you
holiday,
very
and
much.
thank you so much for giving us an overview of what you do and how you make these exhibits
Of
come
course,
alive.
yeah. Thank you very much for having me.
Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Not only green when summer's here, but also when 'tis cold and drear. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, much pleasure thou canst give me. Oh Christmas tree, much pleasure thou canst give me. How often has the Christmas tree afforded me the greatest glee? Oh Christmas tree, much pleasure thou canst give me. Oh Christmas tree, thy candles shine so brightly. Oh Christmas tree, thy candles shine so brightly. From base to summit, gay and bright, there's always splendor for the sight. Oh Christmas tree, thy candles shine so brightly. Oh Christmas tree, how richly God has decked thee. Oh Christmas tree, how richly God has decked thee. Thou bidst us true and faithful be, and trust in God unchangingly. Oh Christmas tree, how richly God has decked thee. Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, thy candle shines so brightly. Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, thy candle shines so brightly. From base to summit, gay and bright, there's always splendor for the sight. Oh Christmas tree, thy candle shines so brightly. Oh Christmas tree, how richly God has decked thee. Oh Christmas tree, how richly God has decked thee. Thou bidst us true and faithful be, and trust in God unchangingly. Oh Christmas tree, how richly God has decked thee. Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Not only green when summer's here, but also when 'tis cold and drear. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, much pleasure thou canst give me. Oh Christmas tree, much pleasure thou canst give me. How often has the Christmas tree afforded me the greatest glee. Oh Christmas tree, much pleasure thou canst give me. Oh Christmas tree, thy candle shines so brightly. Oh Christmas tree, thy candle shines so brightly. From base to summit, gay and bright, there's always splendor for the sight. Oh Christmas tree, thy candle shines so brightly. Oh Christmas tree, how richly God has decked thee.
Okay, here, well, thank you so much for joining us today and for these wonderful tours that we did. We hope that we've kind of whetted your appetite to come to the YWCA, check that out, and also come to the museum and check that out as well. And I do want to wish you all a very happy holidays, and of course you'll see what's coming up next week. Just watch these next slides coming up and you'll find out what's coming up next week. That's on January the 8th, and I'll be seeing you again in the studio. Thank you so much for watching, and have a happy New Year.